Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sean. I'm back for another video. Welcome back to another recap and review for Insecure's Season 5, Episode 5, Surviving, okay? Now, I must say this particular episode wasn't especially eventful. However, there were some key points that I want to touch on. I even contemplated doing this review because there isn't a whole lot to discuss, but it did get juicier as the episode went on. So we're going to talk about all that. So without any further ado, let's jump into the review. So this episode actually starts off with Molly in the throes of passion. She looks like she's having the time of her life. Now, I actually thought the person that she was with would be Nathan's homeboy because that's kind of how they left things off last episode. But kind of find out this is some rando who we have never been introduced to. Molly having a good time, and then when she is post-coital, she realizes that she's got several messages from, her dad and her two brothers. Her phone is just blowing up, and when you get late night text messages, it's not typically a good thing, especially when it's from family and friends. So Molly is, understandably worried and alarmed, and that's how they start this week's episode. So things pick up at the hospital, and Molly is understandably distraught. And her family also, you could tell that everybody's worried. The brother is saying, the last thing I told my mom is that I think her stuffing wasn't that good. So, the dad looks very worried. Everybody's worried. They have their Aunt Kiki with them. And then the doctor pops up, and they're ready to hear the news. And the doctor lets them know that it's not looking very good, that they might as well go ahead and get ready to go in there and say their goodbye. I thought it was so unbelievably tacky and unprofessional to say those things to them in a public waiting room in front of all those people. I was just like, oh my goodness. So anyway, they go to the room, and they see this woman who is lying there, and it's not his wife, and it's not their mom. It's not Molly's mom. It's some random lady. It looks like the doctor got the files mixed up and was giving this news to the wrong family. So the real family does show up, and they eventually go and see their mom. So the nurse is just asking for some basic medical history information, but they're still waiting for her to wake up. She's still unconscious. Everybody is standing by her side waiting for her to wake up, and they're just hoping for the best. It's not as bad as the other lady's situation, but it's not necessarily good news either. So on the other side of town, Issa is waking up in Nathan's bed. He comes to wake her up with a cup of coffee. He looks very pleased with himself, and they both look really smiley. One thing that I noticed that they kind of really subtly touched on, you can see he had his back turned, but he was taking what looks like some medication. So you can definitely tell from the preview that they're kind of setting up possibly something with his bipolar disorder. But anyway, they're just like talking about what's going on with their day. Nathan lets Issa know that he had a couple of people cancel, so he doesn't really have plans for that day. And then Issa lets him know that she's supposed to have plans with Molly, but Molly's known to cancel during weekdays. So Issa also tells Nathan that, even though she could get really used to this, she doesn't want to move too quickly like they did the last time. So she says she definitely wants to take things slow. That's at least the plan so far. We'll talk about that as the episode goes on. But then, Issa says, you know what, let me just call Molly to see if we're still on for our plans. And so, she is calling Molly, and then her face, her smile just fades to like this look of concern. So you could tell she just found out about Molly's mom. So Nathan is kind enough to take Issa to the hospital so she can go be with Molly. And, he's like, just call me and let me know when you want me to pick you up. And Issa says again, for the second time this episode, she says, oh, I don't want to be too much trouble. We're trying to keep things light. I don't expect you to do anything. And he's like, just let me know what you need and I got you. And so Issa goes into the hospital. She steps off the elevator, and she sees Molly wearing her nighttime clothes. And I'm sure she was thinking the same thing I was thinking when I saw Molly in that outfit. Girl, you got your thigh out, your side out, your shoulder out. Like, you got a lot. Nighttime clothes in the daytime. It's a no-no. So Issa's, whatever you need, just let me know. I'm here for you. And Molly's like, I don't need anything. And Issa's like, well, what about a change of clothes? You can change. You can wear my outfit for the time being. I'll stop by your place and I'll get you some fresh clothes. And Molly's like, that would be perfect. So they went to the bathroom and they swapped clothes so that Molly could look more hospital and daytime appropriate. And, Molly was letting Issa know that she really appreciates her friendship. And I really like that because that was the issue with Molly not really valuing what Issa brought to her life. And, the older she gets or the more these episodes seem to progress, she's really starting to get that. So Issa is now wearing nighttime clothes in the daytime because she's wearing Molly's outfit. So now Issa's thigh and side and shoulder is out and she's outside. So anyway, she goes to the car and it's Nathan because he does have the day off and he's picking her up and she's like, thank you for being there. Is it too much to ask for you to take me to Molly's place so that I can, get her a fresh change of clothes and bring it back? And he's like, no, I told you I got you. So that's what they do. They pop over to Molly's place. So while Issa is finding the clothes that she needs from Molly, Nathan sees Flavor Flav, which is Molly's dog, and he's like, he doesn't have any food, he doesn't have any water, he hasn't been walked. Like, what's going on? Like, we really need to do something with this dog. This dog needs help, while Molly's not around. So meanwhile, Molly gets a call from Torian at the office, and he's asking about some work that Molly said that she would do. And, Molly lets him know that, I told my assistant to let you know that I needed some personal time. And he's like, well, okay, that I have somebody else who can do it. And Molly's like, no, no, no. How late do you need it? And I'm just like, Molly, your mom is in the hospital and she suffered a stroke. Like, this is the time where you have to let somebody else do it. It's just, again, if this is the final season, I need to see some growth. And the fact that Molly still can't let work be put to the side for anything else, or still can't allow somebody to help her, it's frustrating to watch because it's like, girl, any human being would understand why you can't do it. Just tell the people you can't do it. So while Ethan and Nathan are taking Flavor Flav for a walk, Issa gets a call from her mom because she did call her mom earlier when everything happened with Molly's mom, just to let her mom know that she loves her and all that. So the mom is being played again by Wendy Raquel Robinson. So, she's talking back and forth to Issa, but she notices that Issa keeps looking over at somebody. So she's like, girl, who you with? And Issa's like, Nathan. And so the mom is like, is that your boyfriend? And Nathan chimes in and says, yes. And Issa looks a little shocked. And so she's like, well, give the phone to him. So Issa gives the phone to Nathan and he's like, hi. And they're talking back and forth. He's smiling, skinning and grinning with this lady. And Issa's looking awkward like she always do. And but it's a nice little scene. But so much for them moving slowly and taking things slow. So Issa does say, you didn't have to say that you were my boyfriend. And he was like, why? And she's like, well, if you think things are moving too quickly. And he's like, no, I don't think things are moving too quickly. Now, why he say that? Because Issa will jump the gun a little bit later. So Issa also tells Nathan that her mom must really be going through it. And Nathan asks her why. And then she says, she's just been all over the place. Like she don't really know what she want. Like she don't really know what she want to do. And Nathan's making all of these faces because it sounds like Issa is describing herself. This is exactly how Nathan described Issa last week to his friends. All over the place, not knowing what she wants to do. He probably wanted to say like mother, like daughter. But he was a smart man because he bit his tongue and didn't say a word. So while they're sniggling and giggling, they hadn't even realized that Flavor Flav done got off his leash. So he's loose somewhere in LA, and they're like, Issa is panicking because Molly's mom is in the hospital. This is a life-threatening thing that's going on with her. She had one job, and that was to watch Flavor Flav, and she'd messed that up. And so she was just like, what am I going to do? And Nathan's like, listen, something like this happened to me when I was a kid. Oftentimes the dog knows the route and the dog will go back to the home. Let's just go back there and see if he shows up. So that's what they decide to do. So meanwhile, at the hospital, Molly is on WebMD, worrying the heck out of her mom's nurse. Never go on WebMD. No matter how bad you feel, it will tell you that you will die in the next 5 seconds. Like, it is so over dramatic. All you're going to do is stress yourself out, and that's exactly what Molly is doing. But anyway, so the nurse lets it slip that this is the mom's second stroke, and Molly's like, that can't be. And the dad's like, actually, it was. This is her second stroke. And so Molly is shocked, and the brother is shocked because they're like, how could you, the dad, keep this from us? Oftentimes the people that we love always hide their medical history to quote unquote keep you from worrying, but that's not good either because you can't even fully help them. And sometimes their medical history is your medical history. So you have to know if certain things run in the family. It's important that they share this information with you. But Molly feels left out of the loop, and you know how she's a bit of a control freak, and she's just like, how did I not know this? Well, she's very upset with her father for not telling her. So Ethan and Nathan are back at Molly's. They're sitting out front waiting for Flavor Flav to hopefully come back. And before they know it, he pops up. He did know his route home. And Issa's just like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for suggesting this, Nathan. She's like, you're just so patient with me. That's why I love you. Record scratch moment. And she paused for a minute and Nathan didn't say anything back. And so Issa was trying to play it off, and he gave her a kiss and he pulled her close and all that. There could be so many reasons why he didn't say it back, but Issa started this morning saying that, we're going to take things slow, we're going to move slow. I don't expect anything from you. I don't expect you to pick me up at the hospital, but you're going to tell this man in the same day, just a few hours later, that you love him. Now, keep in mind, she did let it slip. It wasn't like she planned to say it, but it's just like once it's out, it's Pandora's box. You can't put it back in the box. It's out there. So Issa and Molly are at Molly's mom's bedside, and Issa is telling her, I'm here for you. Anything you need, I'm here. And Molly just really feels bad. She said, well, I was hooking up with this stranger while my mom was having a stroke. She was just like, I just feel like I failed her. I haven't done anything that she wanted me to do. I'm not married. I don't have any kids. Like, she just really feels like a failure, which is so sad. Issa tries to reassure her that she's very accomplished and that she does make her mom proud with all the things that she's done, and all the goals that she's accomplished. It's really sad when parents put so much value on that as if they can't see any of your other accomplishments. There's so much more to life as a woman than being a man's wife. That is not the only reason why you are walking this earth. And so I wish that Molly's mom would kind of say that sometimes. Molly also tells Issa that she never wants to be outside the loop, not with her family, not with Issa, not with Kelly or Tiff. She's like, you guys are my everything. I always want to be in the loop. This situation with Molly's mom has really helped to give Molly perspective about what's really important. Chasing random dudes and all this kind of is not even important. What's important is her friends and her family, and that's the relationships that she needs to focus on, not just the relationship that she may possibly have with a man. So Issa volunteers to go get Molly a cup of coffee because Molly looks tired. But while she does, she is walking through the hallway and she sees this adorable baby. The baby child, it's Eli. Little Elijah is there. And of course, if you see the baby, then you see the mom. Then pops up Condola. Condola's holding the baby and Issa's just looking. And she also sees a stroller and pops up from the stroller. It's Lawrence. And they look like a family. And Issa is just standing there frozen. She can't say anything. She can't move. She's just like staring like a deer in the headlights. Lawrence sees her, and now it's his turn to be frozen. He can't speak. He can't move. Issa has him shook, and it's just a mess. Issa walks by, and then when she turns the corner, she's just standing there. Like, you could tell she's like literally trying to process what she just saw. This is the man that she spent years with. This is the love of her life. This is a man that she had planned all of her dreams. Somebody else was living it. Somebody else was living the life that Issa wanted with Lawrence. So while she's in the hallway, she kind of hesitates, like almost like she wants to turn back around and go say something, go speak to him or whatever. This is how I know that Issa is not over Lawrence. I don't care what's going on with Nathan. She just told Nathan that she loved him an hour or two ago, hadn't seen Lawrence in over a year, and this man got you feeling like this. It was almost like she was transported back in time to that moment. And she never lost the love she had for Lawrence. And you could tell by the look on his face. It doesn't matter how much time passed. He hadn't gotten past it or gotten over Issa either. There's an old saying that goes, if you can't love the one you want, love the one you with. And I feel like that's what Issa's doing. She wants Lawrence, but she knows she can't have him, so she is with Nathan. I know what I said last week. I'm a woman. I have a right to change my mind. I feel like she is settling for Nathan because Nathan don't do all this. Nathan has not made Issa feel these things. I don't care what anybody says. I still do not want Issa to be the stepmom to little Elijah. I don't want her to be involved in a relationship that requires her to deal with a quote unquote baby mama. I did not want this for Issa. But this is a television show, and apparently the heart wants what the heart wants. And if Issa loves a man and he loves her back, if they end up together, then it is what it is. I never had a problem with Issa and Lawrence being together and them ultimately making it out of this series together as a couple. But not like this. I don't care. Fight me. I said what I said. Not like this? Anyway, that's it for this week's episode of Insecure. Short review because it was a short episode. I don't even think this episode was a full 25 minutes. If you take out the wind down and the intro and the previously on Insecure, you take all that out, it wasn't much to the episode, and it didn't get super juicy to the very end. But it is what it is. Next week definitely looks like it's going to be a bit more eventful, so I'm excited about that. Looks like somebody is going to confront Nathan about being bipolar. At least that's what the preview was showing. So I can't wait to get into that. If you guys let me know what you thought of this week's episode. What do you feel about Issa saying that she loves Nathan and the brother not saying anything back? Do you really believe that Issa actually loves Nathan? Or do you believe that she loves Nathan because she can't love Lawrence? Like, let's talk about all of it in the comment section below. If you missed my previous review, I'll be sure to link it on the screen. Also, be sure to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you'll never miss a video from your girl. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Till next time, later divas and dudes. Deuces, honey.